eagle, how you do it on your own? Ain't no fame probably getting to your head. If I ever change for the bread, I know God probably gone.
I flew my mom out of Paris. She used to stay on the street. I bought myself a new chain. It cost like 40 a piece. I haven't been home in a while, so I spent a crib on my teeth. Got money.
What's poppin', Savvy?
Yo, man, I'm still fat, though. How are you, bro?
Bro, come on, dog. I'm trying to stay fit. You know the vibes, man. Just trying to stay fit, creative, you know.
Yeah, doggy. How's 2020 been for you?
Yeah, man. Like in the beginning, it was, with everything going on, it was just trying to figure out, okay, which way, But I think it highlighted a lot of things for me, I just had to stay creative, stay fit, and then I knew the rest would follow, because everybody was just panicking. But the only thing I had on my time, I just had time, so I said, yo, let me cook, see what I can make, yeah.
That is nice. I think there's one elephant in the room we can't ignore, bro. What should we call it, a snake in the room?
Nah.
You never post stuff like that, dog. Like, what happened? Was it part, like, what was going on?
Nah, that's called hashtag no more running away from greatness.
Okay.
It is what it is.
That's a slam dunk.
We need to embrace that, It's that mama mentality. No, it's not going nowhere. It's women for life.
Yeah, it's that Mamba magic.
You feel me?
I love it. Between the two of you, I absolutely love it.
Did you check? I saw you posted up a follow-up pic and you were like, y'all are funny, man. Like, which comment stood out for you the most?
Nah, just like, in fact, like just seeing how everybody was laughing. For me, it was just like funny to see niggas get into the conversation, because it's like, yo, who said I was for you guys,
Did you see the pictures that came with the hashtag, the Shane Eagle Challenge? Was that? Yeah, the Shane Eagle Challenge. Did you see?
You gotta put me on.
Oh no, I heard there was a challenge. I'm just asking. Just check the hashtag.
There was a challenge as well. I don't know there was a challenge.
Yeah, but it's a normal thing. Like anytime there's someone who decides to show something. There's always a challenge.
We know who did it best though. So if there's a challenge now, there's a level up there. You feel me? There's levels.
Is this you owning it, Shane? Is this you saying, yo, I got it?
Now hashtag, I told you it's hashtag no more running away from greatness. That's what it is.
I feels you, man. It's great to see you back in these streets. You never post a lot, man. Just to see you being part of conversation.
Yeah.
Any reason, man?
For sure. I'm super excited, man. It's like, before obviously the pandemic hit, like I had such a huge tour planned, and I wanted to bring down like most of the artists featured on the project. But then I decided, how can I still take that same show quality and then, invest it into something, hence the show that's dropping on Apple Music tomorrow, So I wanted to, still do something for the project, because tomorrow's the anniversary, which is the 16th. So that it's exactly a year from when it dropped yesterday. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. So I wanted to do something super special, So it's like with everything I was going to invest into the tour, what can I invest into a show, And I don't want to do the bedroom studio or the, bedroom performance type. I wanted to invest like that same show quality into like a show experience, And then we decided to exclusively, give it to Apple Music, only because they had the exclusive for the show as well. I mean, for the project when it dropped. So I wanted to kind of join the narrative. And also, every time someone watches it, it counts as a stream, which is pretty cool in a time where artists can't really perform. So it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. It's a music video as well, but it's also a show at the same time, like a live performance. So it's basically like nothing anyone's ever seen, because it's a new time that we haven't experienced, you know what I mean? So we kind of had to think outside the box right now. So that's what we basically did. It comes out tomorrow, and it's like fan favorites. So every song that like fans would tell me, yo, this is the one like I like the most, like we picked that. So it's 7 songs. It drops on Apple. Then for 1 week, it's exclusive to Apple. And then after that, it comes out everywhere, which is going to be super dope.
Now you're not really active on the socials, and you don't necessarily speak on what happens within the South African music industry, be it politics or whatever the case may be. Do you have a particular reason behind that? Do you just choose not to get involved? Is that the stance you're taking?
No, I think it just depends on like what particular topic per se, but it's like I rather, you know, speak on politics or speak on, you know, women or speak on everything we experience in the music, because that's the best way I can express myself, you know. So, you know, speaking on social media sometimes, that's why I guess anything I do sometimes is highlighted, because I don't really speak a lot on it. So every time I'm on it, it's like it blows up. So it's like I kind of save it for the music as well, you know. So everything that I work on, I kind of put that stuff in there. You know, if you listen to it, I kind of, every time I release something. So tomorrow, this will be the first time I release new music since Dark Moon, which is on a new song called Rags Talk. And I basically address like everything I've been feeling with everything that's been going on. So this will kind of be my first time like just addressing it. I also give a shout out to actually like all the OGs in the game in this new record, you know, because just off recent, like I've really been feeling like I've been feeling fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. And then I realized that came from people who had, you know, opened the pipes before me and opened the game before me. So I kind of wanted to pay homage to them, you know. So I you know, I speak about it in the record. The fact that I'm even in this position is because of everybody who came before us here in SA, the whole of Africa actually, who took it to where they could have for their time. And now it's our time to kind of like take it even further, you know. So I address that in the song. I also speak about, you know, all the lives that were kind of lost during this time as well, you know. So it's cool, and it's also a Zenergy soundtrack.
You know, when you mention OGs, you know, I can't help but wonder, because we're living in a time where people throw the word OGs and legends everywhere. You know, icons. You know, just because you've been in the game for 10 years don't make you an OG. Yeah, that's just for me. You know what I mean? Like on your side, when you say an OG or you say a legend, how would you describe it?
That's a good question. When I was speaking about OGs, it wasn't necessarily bound to music, you know. It's OGs in it could be OGs in the fashion industry, it could be OGs in journalists, it could be OGs in the radio game, it can be OGs in, you know, the music business, but mainly the people who kind of built the industry before we got here. Because it's always easy to kind of get the best of the industry if you kind of, you know, the newer generation, but the pavement had to be laid at some point, you know what I mean? And that's basically what it is. It's just shouting out everybody in like every form of the industry, whether it's journalism, whether you're a photographer, whether you know, anything that contributes to the industry in Africa. That's basically just showing love to them on that.
And who would you say are those pillars in the South African music industry?
Yo, there's so many. For me, it would be like, you know, Kulichana, you know, if I'm being honest, people came before, AKA Casper, all these guys, Wizkid, Burner, you know, even way before that, Brenda, you know, Coffee, you know, those are for me like the OGs, Stogie, you know, like everybody who, you know, there's too many to name, but it's like people who I really feel like, okay, made it possible for me to even take the baton even further, you know, which is dope.
I love it. You know, while we were on lockdown, there was the moment in SA hip hop where guys like Stogie T had that, you know, rap bars challenge where
every Friday,
Freestyle Friday. That was an amazing moment because for the first time in a long time, hip hop looked forward to a moment. It was just about the bars. There was just that fun element in hip hop. Is there anyone that caught your attention during that moment as Jane Eagle? Because your cosign goes a long way.
Yeah. Like what you mean? Like somebody who I heard on the cypher, or
it could have been on a cypher or just music that you stumbled on while you were listening to music on Apple Music or Spotify. Just a new name that just you discovered during
like new artists like South Africa or just anywhere. Let me think. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Locally, I've been listening to a lot of Calvin Momo. I don't know if you know Calvin. He's I've been gravitating towards him. We actually in the process of connecting, I have a few ideas of how we can join sounds, which is crazy because I've just been listening to him, like Soul to Soul featuring Babawa M and all of that. Like, that's what I like listening to, you know, when I'm not making rap, you know what I mean? And sometimes I feel like his sound it's like close to piano, but it doesn't have like the elements that I wouldn't prefer in piano. He has all the elements I like that's closer to like deep house, you know what I mean? So I was listening to his project, and just the way my vocals sound over his beats got me excited to like try some crazy stuff, and seeing, you know, like it just gave me some ideas. So him, but then rap wise is another artist called Red Veil. You should check him out. He's crazy. He's gonna be on my new project too, which is gonna be sick.
Writing him down.
Okay, Pappy's taking notes. Amongst the many changes that happened this year, one of them was also you changing your management. What inspired that change? Was it coming from your end or their end? Is it mutual parting? Was it like if you amount?
Yeah, now I think it's just more of like a mutual understanding, because, you know, me and my ex-business partner, we kind of came up and learned the game together. So when we got to a certain point, sometimes like your visions kind of differ, you know, like, so it was kind of like, okay, if we can understand that this is where you want to take it and this is what I believe in, then let's do it like that. You see it your way, and, you know, I'll see it mine. But it's all love with that. It's just like, as me, you know, coming from how much I've built, like I kind of like have the same vision that I don't want to change. And sometimes, you know, like opinions and like some people have like a different way they feel like you should go. As the artist, you in full control. So sometimes you have to decide, okay, either I can go this way or I can feel the way like my gut tells me to go. And this will kind of like brought me here. So it's just like a vision thing, you know. Sometimes people's visions like differ the higher you get. So it was just that.
All right. So now the direction moving forward for Eagle Entertainment, like what's the plan moving forward? You know, are you also going to expand, venture to content creation, merchandise? Like, what's the plan now moving forward for the label?
Like merchandise and like all of that, we pretty much got that at Eagle Entertainment. We pretty much got like all the best producers, everybody who produced like, you know, all my new stuff, all the stuff that I worked on. So I think for me, with Eagle Entertainment, separate to me, it's like I want to find a kid who can run quicker than me, someone who, you know, I can put on the label if it's rap wise, because I gravitate towards more a lot of these producers who can kind of like support my sound a bit more, you know. But rap wise, it needs to be, you know, somebody who I really mess with to be like, you can be on the label. Because at Eagle Entertainment, we joining resources with like some of the biggest, you know, record execs, you know, in the world, and some of the biggest resources. So if I bring someone on, I need to be sure that this person can like, you know, run quicker than me in a sense, you know, and sell more than me. Like I have to believe in that person a lot, you know. But for me, like for the rest of like going into 2021, I've got like so much new music that I'm just excited to drop, because getting up to this point, I've had like a formula, which is like project, drop like a crazy project, see how it does, people get their favorites, drop another like good project, see how people do. But now I want to switch it up, and like I've got a lot of like, you know, bullets in the chamber that I just want to let go one by one instead of like a whole project, and just switch it up, you know. So I've got like a whole bunch of cool singles, you know, a whole bunch of music. Oh, this is the biggest thing though. The biggest thing that I learned with Dark Moon, and all the features that I had got, because those were some of the features that I had dreamt of. I got them. Now I realized I can even go even bigger. Like who says that has to be the cap? That's not even, that's just the tip of the iceberg, you know. So I realized that how I got those features and, you know, the places God put me in, that was for a reason, and I can do it again, you know. And I'm in the process of doing it again with feature wise and all the artists I want to work with. I got a crazy one that, you know, it might be too soon to say, but it's going to be a big one, you know. Obviously international feature, there's a few of those on the new stuff, you know. But yeah, and I'm going to be working with like some more like local people as well, you know, like just to fire it up.
And speaking of things just being the tip of the iceberg, a few days ago, Sabi and I spoke to DJ Nitrane. And we're
Yeah.
I try to get the scoop from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I'm
fine.
I tried to get the scoop on you and find out, you know, what does he know that we don't know about you? And I mean, we had a great chat, and he only had good things to say about you, about your relationship, and also you and Dreamville, that particular relationship. But as it stands right now, you dropping new music and where you are in your mind and in your career right now, how's your relationship with Dreamville?
Yeah. Super cool, man. Like you're saying, like if you chopped it up with Nitrane's boss, he's like pretty much his boss's DJ, but he's connected with everybody. So we got to meet on tour as well. But I actually met him when he came to SA first, and then we linked up after. But that's a good question, because I was saying to Nicole 2 days before the project had the pre-ad had gone live on Apple when I dropped Up One featuring Loot, the visual, you know. So I had called him, I had sent him the stuff just to check, you know, what he had thought about it, because, you know, he's featured on it. You know, sometimes you don't drop the video without whoever's featured on it, just to be like, yo, are you happy with this? Does this look dope? You know, so I hit him up and he was just like, yo, it looks so fire, you know, congrats on that. And for me, it just surprised me again, because it's like how I was also, you know, surprised to how solid the relationship is. The fact that I can just call these Dreamville guys just for authorization or to tell me that it is fire is crazy. You know, sometimes I can't even believe it. Like, you know, it's real when you are exactly who you say you are. So sometimes when that moment hits, like it hits, you know, and it made me like the happiest kid ever. So, you know, the relationship is super solid. It's just, you know, figuring out how we can twist the relationship and do different things with it between the two, you know. That's just the point I'm at now, is just what can we do with these two, with this relationship, you know. But it's there, it's super solid. And
there's always that consistent question is always thrown around.
All of that, you know, might just play with the naturalness of it. When it's that time for stuff like that, it will get to that, you know.
There's a question that's always thrown around when it comes to Dreamville and Shane. People always asking the question, are you signed to Dreamville? And just collaborating with other labels. Is that something that you would do at this point in your life?
Well, at this point, I'm not signed to Dreamville. Like, I have no contract with them, you know, but I'm working with them, you know, which is cool. So,
No, I'm just saying in general, at this point in your life, would you sign with anyone?
I wouldn't just sign with anyone. That's the thing. It would have to be someone who, or somebody that I wanted to work with. I wouldn't just take it just because it has a big name to it or it has a good ring to it, because that's not always how it goes. But someone like Dreamville, where that's kind of something that I had envisioned, that might work, but because I favor it or I have a good feeling towards it. But something else, just to sign when it's like, right now I'm in the best space I've ever been in career-wise, because I'm fully in control of everything. I fully own all my masters. I fully, you know, generate everything off my streams and all my investments and all of those endorsements and all of those, you know. There's not another guy who's, you know, got his hands in my check, which that's always the thing I tell artists is like, there never has to be another person in between you and what you want to achieve in life. There never has to be that. Ever.
Now, apart from making amazing music, you also release visuals that are so thought-provoking, that confuse people, that mesmerize people. And you know, the conversation just doesn't end after we see your music video. Do you think people get the vision when it comes to the music videos that you release?
Not always. Like sometimes it's like above, you know, people's heads sometimes, and then over like a bit of time, then people will come back and be like, oh, that was very cool. But it's like, sometimes you don't want to put stuff out that people understand immediately, you know what I mean? Like, you want people to come back and be like, oh, that was fire, this could have been cool, you know? But like, you know, or sometimes they get it, you know, but in a case like this show I'm dropping tomorrow, everybody's just excited about it, but they don't fully understand what it is yet until they watch the whole thing, and then they understand, oh, okay, this is actually a live performance. It's actually a live show, but it's also like the video, you know, and then they understand it, which is cool, you know. Sometimes you don't have to give them everything off bat. Let them digest it and understand it. Yeah.
You know what the question she just asked right now, Eagle? I want to ask you this question. I don't know if you know this dude or not, but when you dropped the video Paris with Nasty C, there was, from what I saw, there was a bigger conversation there. You shot a big budget video in Cape Town with young colored kids who probably never seen a video of that kind being shot in their neighborhood. And a part of me feels like there was another layer to the conversation that you were trying to bring to the table, that colored people are not seen or considered or given the acknowledgement that you guys suppose. And that's the conversation we sometimes have with LTVs. And then Nota went on. And then Nota went on MacD's podcast and said, guys like yourself and youngster CPT don't represent the colored community. And then there's visuals where you're actually trying to address something. Like what are your sentiments around that when people say you don't represent or speak for the colored community?
It's like someone who says that is obviously not paying attention to the details of like the moves that I'm actually doing. Like you're saying, like the Paris video that's shot in, like you have to pay attention because that's shot in Cape Town and in the flats, or taking Ebro to Robbie Ridge, like where I came from, which is a colored neighborhood, or if you listen to Dark Moon Flower, there's nuances of that. But also it's like sometimes representing colored people is like, that's how can I find the way to say it? That's sometimes like restricting. I don't only represent colored people. I represent all people. You know what I'm saying? So just because I don't rap in Afrikaans doesn't mean I don't represent colored people when I am colored. So automatically I would represent that, So I think it's just paying attention, like with Apple Music, that also links to the show that I'm dropping tomorrow. It's also a continuation as well. But, taking a big hip hop DJ from America to Robbie Ridge, which is a colored neighborhood, that's bringing light to colored people. You just have to go on Apple Music and watch it. I'm speaking Afrikaans in the documentary. I'm telling Ebro what this means, what that means. That's putting it on. But obviously I understand that sometimes people have to say what they have to say to kind of get clickbait. I understand that, which is cool too. I don't mind that.
I think for me, with your point is, it's not that colored people aren't represented, but they don't have one face. So as someone
it's
who
not easy. Like for example, I'm in Cape Town right now, and I was with Youngster yesterday the whole day, and we were in studio, we were making music. I was just on the block. I was spending, I was in Cape Town, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes people, I don't know, they expect you to represent people the way they want to be represented, but that's not how you represent your people. Everybody has like a different way from where they sitting, how it should be done. You know what I mean? But you're not in the shoes of like these artists who have like a vision to kind of get there one day. Maybe you should just pay attention to the vision, because if you're a follower of the music, then you'll understand the vision. But if you just watching from the outside and have your own opinions, that's not really how it's gonna work. Artists they have their own movements, they have their own mind. You can't tell an artist how to make a song and it should sound this way, and that's not how it goes. You just go in the studio, you make music. And the thing about me is, what I was saying is it's true to me, so that's when I know it's right. I won't do it to impress anyone else. If it's real to me, then I know it's real to the people who are listening. So yeah.
I agree with you, but I also just wanted to add that I think for some people who also identify as colored, someone like myself, and people assuming that all colored people just come from Cape Town, all colored people sound like people from Cape Town, but also that all colored people look like you. Because sometimes when I go through these music videos and I only see light-skinned girls with long hair, I don't feel like I'm being represented. I don't feel like I see colored girls that look like me, that sound like me, that have the color of my skin, my hair texture. Yeah. So I think that's also another flip side. We actually talk to colored people who don't look like you or sound like you, where we feel like you're not being.
Which is crazy, because my sister is, she's dark skinned like you. But she's colored too, She's got that caramel tint. She's not as light as me, but does that mean she's not colored? No. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's very difficult to say that colored people need to be represented in one way. Even the term colored, like that's a whole different conversation. That will have to be a whole nother interview off bat where we get into, you know, the whole thing. But I'm definitely representing for colored people and all people, you know, period.
You know, as we move from politics and these conversations, and I love engaging with you on these because you never shy away from talking about these subject matters. I don't know if you're aware about Costa Titch right now, because there's another conversation around him with cultural appropriation of culture.
Oh, well, no, I'm not aware of that. I just know he dropped his album or whatever.
Yeah, so there's a conversation right now on the ground because he's a white dude. But how he sounds and how he articulates himself is
how he dances, how he dresses.
It's considered black culture, and they're saying that he's appropriating black culture. And that's why I wanted to find out from you, like, from your understanding, how would you label cultural appropriation, especially in our era where we're getting to a point where black and whites, we're hanging together, we're exploring each other's cultures, we're starting to talk the same. Like, from your understanding, what would you say cultural appropriation is, and would you say what you read about his music?
I mean, like, you know, I hear that, but it's like I'm saying again, because if you're a creative person, are you gonna say that, you know, only certain types of people can speak your language or you know, learn it and try and throw it in hip hop? You know, I don't know, but I think it comes down to the artist, and if you don't like it, it's also easy just to go listen to what you do like, you know. Because if you don't like what he's doing, or, you know, maybe you just pay attention to what you do like, you know, I don't know. But with appropriation, I feel like if he's not disrespecting the culture, then it's cool. Like if he's representing the culture, then it's cool. Like if he's going back and putting people on from K1 and all these, you know, I don't know where he's from or whatever, but maybe if he's trying to build the culture, then it's cool. But if he's trying to take something away from it, which I don't see at this point, then it should be cool, you know. But shout out to him, man. He's doing his thing. Like, if you drop the album and people are talking about it, that's good too.
Now let's take it back to your music now. You've already released 2 visual performances, one being Up featuring Lute. That's what you said earlier.
Yeah, Up one.
And the second one being Whisper to the Moon, which is a fan favorite amongst so many people.
Yeah.
Now, Whisper to the Moon is such a beautiful song, wordy appeal. It's warm, it's filling, you know. How do you feel about the song? Like, do you think it gets love from radio? Do you think it's a song that someone expected you to make?
Yeah. What? Which one specifically? Whispering to the Moon?
Yeah.
Nah, you see that song, I didn't necessarily make, well, any of my songs I don't specifically make for radio, but, you know, I make it, and then if radio plays it, that's cool, they can play it. But that one, you know, the creative direction behind it just came, I had the sample, which is actually a 90s flip of like we were digging, and it's like an original 90s sample that my producer Tabang had sent to me, and then I had sent it to the Hicks. They're in London, you know. So when I sent it to them, they had sent it back to me and put Roxy on it, which is, you know, the female vocal on it. But I speak about, you know, on that song specifically, I speak about, you know, violence against women. You know, like speaking about how, you know, sometimes women, you know, a man can sometimes put their hands on a woman, and she, you know, maybe it might be better for her to find herself first, like you know, instead of getting involved in a toxic relationship. Like, remove yourself from that, heal, find yourself, and then maybe you can be with someone. That's basically what I'm saying in Whispering to the Moon, you know, amidst other things. But it is a beautiful song, and that's because of the Hicks, you know, so shout out to them on that. But I think the new stuff I'm working on, that might be, it's not to say that I'm saying I would make like a specific song for radio, but those would be more songs that radio would gravitate towards. It's just how it came out naturally, you know. I didn't intentionally try and make it like that.
Excellent. Look, before we let you go, Ego, today your song drops. It's a Friday.
Yes, sir.
let's talk about this joint, man. Like, why release this? You sound very chill on the song.
Confident.
Yeah.
Confident as always.
Yeah, dude, wait for the explicit version. You know, I know you guys got the censored one, right?
Yeah.
Is it coming with visual? Pictures?
Yeah, it does.
On Twitter?
It might.
Yeah. What's the mindset there?
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, that's the one I was talking about, just paying homage to the OGs who got here before me, and sending up prayers for, you know, everybody who couldn't make it in a time like this. Because if we look at the realness of the place we are in the world, it's like a real time. And even trying to put out music in a time like this is difficult for me anyway, or to try and do something. But it's like we have to, and we have to address that. And we, as a creative, it's our job to make people who listen to our stuff feel uplifted and, you know, feel inspired in a time like this. So I'm super excited about that, to be able to put a whole show out on Apple Music independently. It's brilliant idea. Add a new record on there. And then after that, there's going to be more music that comes from that, which is also fire. So super excited with that, man.
Okay.
That is dope, man. Like, when we heard that joint, I was like, okay, cool. Eagle is out
and
here.
that's produced by Gemini also, which is cool.
Okay. Clean stuff, man.
Yeah.
That at one time, man. This was an insightful conversation, dog. Like, with you, we can have an hour conversation. It doesn't even feel like an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I guess when you're ready, when you're back in the JXB, we can cut it in the studio.
Link up for real. Link up in person. Yeah, I'm going to pull up to the studio for real, dog. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Bring some merchandise. It's sold out in the shops.
Hell yeah, I'm going to bring some sweatpants too. Baller shorts, everything. I got y'all.
Come with the carpet.
I'm gonna get you ready for greatness, Abby. I'm gonna bring you on baller shorts.
But we've also got greatness that we can show. We've also got greatness to display.
Thank you. I got you. Say less. Love,
nice
y'all.
one, man.